Hello, magandang araw and welcome to the Koryolab 2021 Virtual Residency. Ako po si Deborah Lemwell, ang inyong host at tagapagtawid, and I will help you navigate through this virtual playing field of discovery. The CCP Choreographers Series holds Koryolab as a platform for mid-career choreographers to be able to evolve and develop a deeper understanding and appreciation of choreography under the mentorship of certain pioneers in contemporary dance. So this year, Koryolab decided to house a virtual residency instead. But in this setup, the choreographers are given new perspective from 4 different fields which they will base their insights and reflections of their choreographic work. And that's our Koryolab. Here you will discover how the experience of watching Filipino films can be translated to choreography.
The most important thing about Philippine cinema, of course, is what they say or share or contribute to the Pinoy experience. But what these films say about our being Filipinos. Filipino films are refreshingly heartfelt. Filipino films give social issues a personal face. Filipino films love to experiment also. Filipino films are not afraid to laugh at itself. Filipino films are over the top. Filipino films are friendly to the female experience. When you look at the films that I'm going to give you, you're not just looking at the storytelling. You're not just looking at, the acting of the actors. You're not just looking at the cinematography, editing, etc., etc. You're trying to interrogate ano yung sinasabi ng mga pelikula na to tungkol sa ating pagkatao, our being Filipinos, no? It discusses that in every Filipino mind, there's always a battle between good and evil. Lahat ng kwentong Pilipino, including your dances, guys. I'm prophesizing. They're always at the heart of it is always the quest for identity. Parang the idea kung ano ba yung Pinoy is always at the heart of all the stories being told. And I have a feeling your dances will ask this question. Family is the heaven and hell of the Filipino experience. Gaano ka-importante ang social justice to today's Pinoy? Are we just going to be, happy about things when just outside may mga taong nagugutom, natutulog ng walang mapakain sa anak, etc. And I think the answer is yes. Filipinos care about social justice. So all of this, okay, folks, will help you understand what the Pinoy experience is. There are many Filipino films we can focus on, but we've decided na maybe we can look at 4 to 6 titles. Biyaya ng Lupa, 1959. So this is one of the first films I'd like to recommend for you guys to watch. It's a film that, to me, exemplifies what Martin Heidegger says about day-to-dayness and how the being of every human being appears not in our minds, but the way we live our lives. So let's talk about what Biaya says naman about the community. One of the biggest subject matter ng pelikula is ano yung relasyon ng individual with the community. Ano bang Filipino when it comes to being around a Filipino community. And this is the beginning. It celebrates ang ordinary kasal of an ordinary couple is not celebrated just by the family, but by the whole town. Film is not realistic, guys. It's aspirational. It tells us na maybe Filipinos should be like this. Maybe Filipino families should be like this. Maybe Filipino communities, towns, etc. should be like this. So I think that's one of the gifts of the film to remind us of the values that used to be ordinary lang sa utak ng mga lolo't lola natin.
Interested ako on how na-utilize ang dance in films. Kasi napakaganda talaga nung sa Biyaya ng Lupa. Nung nakita ko yung parang community dance. Kasi parang doon pinapakita yung function ng dance sa society during that time.
Cinema during the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. No? Very much apart yung dance scenes. But karamihan ng pelikulang very commercial sa Filipino cinema, okay? They always incorporate the aspect of dance. And why not? But sa amin sa Bohol, basta may gathering ng mga magkakamag-anak, imposibleng walang kuradang. It's a ritual. And I think Filipinos napaka-addicted to dance and music na imposibleng hindi siya lumabas sa pelikula. It's only now, no, folks, do you notice the newer Filipino films? Parang baduy-baduy, parang ang tingin nila pag may dance sa pelikula, ang baduy. But it shouldn't be.
In this lecture with Sir Ed Cabagnot, the choreographers were given the challenge or the task to reflect upon what is the Pinoy experience. They were given certain films to watch to help with their learning process. So ang tanong dito ay, ano nga ba yung mga sinabi sa kanila ng mga iba-ibang pelikula at paano nila na-reflect yung Pinoy experience dun sa mga natutunan nila?
So, yeah. Yung insyang is what I use generally when I'm teaching women in cinema. Because para sa akin, because Simone de Beauvoir, wrote a fantastic book that talks about the second sex, no? Sabi nga niya, one is not born a woman, one becomes one. And to me, the best Filipino film that interrogates this idea is Insyang by Lino Broca. So, eto, masarap din itong pag-usapan. Ang maganda rito, Insyang already made a transition to the musical theater or theater. No, it would be nice if this could be also the subject of a dance experiment. No,
parang before nun, parang ayoko na siyang panoorin. Nung nare-realize ko nagkakaroon na ng strength yung vulnerability ng babae. Doon ako na-excite panoorin yung film.
Because para sa akin, she appears as victim. And what to me was amazing, which is tragic in a way, no, is from innocent girl, she became vindictive. When pushed to the limit, even the saintliest people are forced to be Machiavellian to survive. Pero ang ganda ng ending, di ba? How beautiful the vantage point na binigay ni Lino Broca sa atin when in trying to put on the table, ano ba yung babaeng Filipino? Naalala niyo yung dialogue, yung kwento niyo kanina, yung tingin ni Insyang, yung habang naglalabas siya, tapos biglang tiningnan lang niya si Dado at ngumiti ng konti. Wow! That in itself is a movement, guys. So for me, no, I'm not a choreographer, but if I'm putting myself in your shoes, the ability of actors to use that limited space to tell us a world, to share with us yung mundo nila, is the same as what you're doing, guys. So I think yung bridge nyo, I don't think it's that far. The best dialogue subverts the visuals. Okay, number one. Number two, ano yung relationship ng actor with his space within the rectangle that is the screen? All of these things, they're choreography, guys. Naalala nyo yung eksena nung pinatay si tatay? Remember? Binaril siya, no? But yung tatay at si Bruno nasa taas ng screen, tapos si Miguel, yung who cannot hear, hindi niya marinig yung baril. That is a beautiful fugue. The idea na pinatay yung tatay mo sa taas, but this character, hindi siya makarinig, kaya hindi niya rinig yung shot. Wow! Now you can appreciate it from the level of movement. Okay? The way they use their bodies. I mean, they're master classes, guys, in movement.
Takeaway din actually, kung na-appreciate ko kung gaano kaganda pinapakita ng films ang mga babae. Parang doon na focus yung interest ko in terms of doing movements and all that. Parang naiinteresado ako paano nila pino-focus on women.
Norte by Love Diaz. So it's a 5-hour film, guys. I have to warn you, it's the shortest film of Love Diaz. But for me, what's beautiful about it is it talks about what is right and wrong. It brings up the idea of, the Russian what's this, literary giants, lalo na si Dostoevsky, and of course, philosophy, si Alan Watts, is none other than Norte by Lab Diaz. The beauty nga of the long shot is after a while, when you notice you're watching a film, nawawala kasi yung suspension of disbelief. You notice na ang tagal nito, ano bang mangyayari? And then your mind gets distracted. Suddenly, you become a participant in the film. You're not just witnessing a story, but now nasa loob ka na ng frame.
Ang ganda ng laro ng music, bahagi talaga siya, napakapalin yung atmosphere. Nagiging secondary player na lang yung conversations na sobrang layo ng contrast. Pinaglalaroan tayo ni Lab Diaz kung ano pinaglalaro ko ni Lab Diaz kung may mangyayari ba or wala. So yung play on anticipation sobrang interesting for me.
Silence can be the loudest thing. Dialogue should only reveal something the eyes cannot see, or dialogue should only reveal something that is the opposite of what we see.
Takeaway ko po when it comes to choreography is paying attention to very small details, like we don't have to be very loud. Doon po nakikita that we don't have to tell them na maganda yung piece ko, but they will appreciate that if they have to pay attention with the very small details po.
Try ko din po siyang tingnan on a choreographer's perspective, yung the way how movement works with the camera, yung at saka yung movement, yung body movements din ng mga actors, ng mga characters. Nakikita ko na may mga certain parts na mas evident yung body language ng character kesa dun sa lines. Kumbaga nagiging support na lang yung lines. Parang we as choreographers, parang ang responsibility namin is how to orient that.
Manila by Night by Ishmael Bernal. And here is Ishmael Bernal showing us prostitutes, lesbians, homosexuals, etc., etc. It was showing us a very candid, but at the same time, ironically beautiful satire on what Manila is.
Paano nare-reflect nung space, nung katawan, nung gestures ng mga tao, yung time kung kailan sila ginawa.
It makes sense how provocative and how strong the films were at that time, especially from the themes and the visuals, the aesthetic of everything. Thus, I found it also very interesting kasi may random research question ako sa utak ko nun. Ano kaya yung nightlife nung panahon ni Marcos? Nasagot niya yung question. So, wild. Yun yung sagot. Wild.
Parang sobrang totoo lang niya. I mean, kasi di ba, for me, personally, pag gumagawa ko ng pyesa, parang syempre gusto ko, kailangan ma-please ko yung director ko. Kailangan ma-please ko yung colleagues ko, yung family ko na manonood ng ano ko. Kailangan may something brilliant ako na gawin sa pyesa ko para matuwa sila sa pyesa ko. Pero yung Manila by Night, for me parang walang gano'n, talagang totoo lang siya. Sobrang genuinely true lang siya. Wala eh. Pinakita lang niya kung ano yung Manila sa community doon sa Manila paggabi. Ganun lang siya katotoo.
The power of a Manila by Night versus Insyang or Kisap Mata is it's a fugue. Marami siyang tones, may kwento ng driver, may kwento ng bulag, may kwento ng mother na dati pokpok, and the way they intersect, doon lumalabas yung sayaw ng music, no? Kisap Mata by Mike De Leon. Kisap Mata was made at the height of the Marcos regime, and it was actually an anti-Marcos film. And I use this film whenever I talk about Michel Foucault, okay? And when we talk about the body, the prison, etc., etc. And then ng Kisap Mata, because if these choreographers imagine it, napaka-claustrophobic, napaka-enclosed ng environment. So you can imagine the relationships, how tight the choreography could be and dark.
Yung story ng Kisap Mata may pinakamalapit na relation dun sa gusto kong gawin. Yung pagkwento ng sa loob lang ng isang household, yung pamilya. Telling story of one specific family. And simula pa lang, doon pa lang nasa edge na ako ng seat ko. And tapos maintain niya ako hanggang sa matapos yung film. Paano niya kinuha yung attention ng audience from start to finish.
In his movement studies, Ding Dong uses different props to discover how to tell the story of a character in his piece called Bahay Pag-asa.
I want to move with objects to express an emotion. How can an object with a body tell a story? Can the object be a body?
So this is what you call the principle of semiotics. The idea that cinema is based on a system of signs and symbols. And if you pay attention to the word palabas, sa French, spectacle. So si Guy Debord, one of my favorite commentators, no, siya yung naglabas ng konsepto, ng filosofiya that talks about the spectacle. All of us want to watch things, okay, as if we're a part of it. So instead of living our lives, we sometimes just want to watch performances of lives, okay?
Now, yung takeaway ko po from watching the films,
sige.
Tinatry ko siyang i-connect sa pag-create ng choreography. Na para sa akin, ang pagtingin ko sa choreography now after watching those films is choreography is an opportunity to represent stories, to represent people, and to represent a portion of history na gusto mong i-highlight. So, yun po yung sa akin.
Sa mga piyesang napanood ko at sa mga piyesa na ginagawa ko, kung ano yung mga kung ano yung focus na nakikita ng mga tao. So parang na-realize ko rin yung kulang in terms of kung paano ko i-focus yung sayaw.
How do we treat women? How do we treat family? Anong relasyon ng Pinoy sa relihiyon? Anong relasyon ng Pinoy sa politics? And you stand back, what you're watching is how Philippine cinema has painted a tapestry of the Filipino soul.
In experiencing how these iconic Filipino films use time, space, and body, the artist discovered that, like these films, choreography can also convey the Filipino soul.